Friends, welcome back to the Fundraising Farmer. I'm Jimmy LaRose.
And I'm Sandy Morkel.
And today we are going to tackle, Sandy, what could be one of the more important parts of Major Gifts Ramp Up. You know, we always talk about and understand that first and foremost, compelling case. And then, of course, the campaign visitor team, those messengers that are going to take that case into the field and invite people to stand with you. But you can have a great case for support, you can have a great team put together, but you got to ask. And there are right ways, wrong ways, and then what we would like to say are great ways to invite a person to give. Sandy, why don't you share with our audience?
Absolutely. You know, when a person has indicated that he or she are ready to give, that they actually are ready to engage, it is so important that we don't rob Peter to pay Paul. That the organization itself has to be able to continue to operate, that regardless of what that great project is or that capital campaign or that component, we have to make sure that the organization continues to be able to fulfill its mission. So the first part of what we call a three-part ask is to actually secure that annual operating support. And sometimes we do that with a 3-year pledge to the annual fund. Sometimes it's up to 5 years, depending on the individual donor. But we want to secure that operating funding first, because we think that that's important for the ongoing operations of the organization. Then the second part of the three-part ask is actually asking for that project support, whether it's that capital campaign or that major project or maybe a program expansion. We want to be able to ask that big gift, that 5, 6, 7-figure gift that is really the key of that case for support. So we do that with a multiple-year pledge or whatever type of structure that donor chooses to pay that to be able to make that investment in the organization. And then there's a third part to the ask. And that third part is actually having the donor consider a long-term investment in the organization through a planned gift. And that could be something that is simply included in his or her will, that is given to the organization upon their death, or it could be something that is taken out of appreciated assets or some kind of investment vehicle that is actually set up that the organization benefits from, that could be invested now in their endowment funds so that there's an ongoing support. It could be that they're actually endowing their own annual fund gift so that in perpetuity that support can continue. So that's the three-part ask, and we think that's the right approach because it really does cover all the angles.
Well, imagine this. An individual has self-qualified. They come into your universe because you've approached them correctly. They've gone through prospect cultivation and they've found out that they are in love with you and that you're in love with each other. They've been properly introduced to the messaging and the case for support. They've even invited you over to their home or to their office to be involved in an investment. So, when we sit down with them, what if there was a gift agreement that first secured their ongoing annual fund commitment, then a one-time project investment, and then we invited them to consider the organization in the estate plan? Well, I'll tell you what, that's being donor-centric. Instead of going to the donor 3 different times, they appreciate the fact that you've provided them a context for their entire gift, the entire way they're going to give in the next 1 or 2 years by you involving them in the three-part ask. It's an important part of Major Gifts Ramp Up. Thanks for joining us on the Fundraising Farmer.